The Great Pyramids were not accidents. They were the result of meticulous planning and organization, a testament to the ingenuity and determination of ancient Egypt. Every stone, every angle, and every alignment was carefully considered long before the first block was set in place. These monumental structures rose from the desert not by chance but through the combined efforts of thousands, all working toward a singular, awe-inspiring goal. At the top was the pharaoh, whose vision set the project in motion, demanding a monument worthy of a god-king. The pharaoh was not just a ruler, but a living deity whose word was law, and whose legacy would be written in stone for eternity. His ambition drove the entire nation to mobilize its resources and talents. The vizier, acting as chief executive, managed everything from materials to manpower. This powerful official was the pharaoh's right hand, responsible for turning royal dreams into reality. The vizier coordinated the work of countless administrators, ensuring that every detail, from food supplies to labor schedules, was accounted for. Architects and overseers translated the pharaoh's vision into actionable plans, orchestrating thousands of workers. These master planners designed the blueprints, calculated measurements, and supervised the construction process, making sure that every block was placed with precision. Their expertise was crucial in overcoming the immense challenges of building on such a grand scale. Figures like Ankaf, vizier to Khufu, oversaw the final stages of the Great Pyramid's construction. Ankaf's leadership and organizational skills were legendary, and his ability to manage both people and resources helped bring the pharaoh's vision to life. He stands as a symbol of the human effort behind these wonders. Surveyors selected the perfect site, solid rock, precisely leveled and aligned to the cardinal points, reflecting deep cosmological beliefs. Their work ensured that the pyramids would stand the test of time, perfectly oriented to the heavens, and embodying the Egyptians' connection to the cosmos. The Diary of Merer, an ancient papyrus, reveals the daily logistics: teams transporting limestone by boat, detailed records, and organized work gangs. These documents provide a rare glimpse into the day-to-day operations, showing how supplies were moved, workers were managed, and progress was tracked with remarkable accuracy. This evidence transforms the builders from a faceless mass into skilled, coordinated teams. Each worker, from laborer to craftsman, played a vital role, contributing their expertise and strength to the collective effort. Their collaboration and discipline were essential to the project's success. The Pyramid Project was a state-run operation, managed with bureaucratic efficiency and remarkable precision. Scribes and officials kept meticulous records, tracking every resource and every worker, ensuring that nothing was left to chance. Every step, from planning to execution, was a feat of leadership and engineering. The result was not just a tomb, but a lasting symbol of human ambition, organization, and the enduring legacy of ancient Egypt. The story of the pyramids truly begins in the vast, sun-baked quarries of ancient Egypt. Here, beneath the relentless desert sun, the first steps of pyramid construction took shape. These quarries, stretching across the Giza Plateau, were the birthplace of the stones that would become legends. Egyptian workers, skilled and determined, mastered the art of stoneworking using only the simplest of tools: copper chisels, wooden mallets, and stone hammers. Their ingenuity transformed raw bedrock into the building blocks of history. Most of the core blocks for the pyramids were hewn from the local Giza limestone, quarried just a short distance from the construction site. This proximity made it possible to move such massive stones with relative efficiency. For the outer casing, however, only the finest Tura limestone would do. These dazzling white blocks were ferried across the Nile, their journey a feat of logistics and coordination, to give the pyramids their iconic gleam. Quarrymen employed copper chisels, dolerite pounding stones, and wooden wedges. By soaking the wedges with water, they expanded and split massive blocks from the bedrock, a process requiring both patience and precision. Once freed, masons carefully shaped and smoothed each stone, ensuring it was ready for the long journey to the pyramid site. Every block was measured and refined to fit perfectly with its neighbors. The scale of this operation is staggering. The Great Pyramid alone contains over 2 million limestone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. The sheer volume of material moved and shaped is almost unimaginable. Some blocks, especially those used for the inner chambers, were granite from Aswan, nearly 600 miles away. These colossal stones could weigh up to 80 tons, demanding even greater ingenuity to extract and transport. Today, the quarry walls still bear the scars of ancient labor, tool marks, wedge holes and chisel grooves, silent evidence of the techniques and effort involved. Sites like Gabel el Silsila and Giza's northern quarry reveal negative spaces and wedge holes, acting as open-air museums that preserve the memory of thousands of workers and their relentless toil. These ancient quarries are more than just scars on the landscape. They are archaeological windows into the very first step of pyramid building, offering clues to the organization and scale of the workforce. The process was systematic, organized, and astonishingly efficient. Teams of workers coordinated their efforts, each person playing a vital role in the extraction and preparation of stone. Every block tells a story of teamwork, determination, and relentless effort. The success of the pyramids depended on the unity and skill of these ancient laborers. The Egyptians' mastery of quarrying was the essential foundation of their monumental achievements. Without their expertise, the vision of the pyramids could never have become reality. It was here, in the quarries, that the dream of the pyramids was born. Proof that human ingenuity and collective effort can move mountains, one stone at a time. Extracting stone was just the beginning. The real challenge was moving these multi-ton blocks to the pyramid site. Locally quarried stones traveled on causeways and paved roads, loaded onto wooden sledges pulled by teams of men. Workers poured water on the sand to reduce friction, a technique depicted in ancient tomb paintings. For Tura limestone and Aswan granite, the Nile was the highway. Blocks were loaded onto barges and sailed by skilled crews. The annual Nile flood allowed boats to approach the construction site more closely. From the riverbank, stones were hauled overland again, using sledges and prepared roads. This transportation network required thousands of workers and precise coordination. The entire process was synchronized with the seasons, maximizing efficiency. Every block's journey was a triumph of logistics and teamwork. The movement of stone was as impressive as the building itself. A major mystery was how millions of tons of stone reached Giza, far from today's Nile. Recent discoveries revealed the Aramat Branch, a now-vanished Nile channel that once flowed to the pyramid's base. This waterway was a superhighway for materials, allowing barges to deliver stone directly to a harbor at the plateau. Sediment cores and ancient pollen confirm this branch existed during pyramid construction. The valley temples, once on the water's edge, were the ceremonial and logistical entry points for the project. The Aramat Branch was the missing link, making pyramid building possible on such a grand scale. Once at the site, the next challenge was lifting blocks into place, often hundreds of feet high. The sheer scale of the task was staggering, as each stone weighed several tons and had to be precisely positioned to form the pyramid's perfect angles. Ramps were the key to this monumental feat, but their exact design and construction methods are still debated by historians and archaeologists today. Straight ramps would have been massive and required enormous resources. Zigzag or spiral ramps are more plausible, as they could be built alongside or even within the pyramid itself. Some theories suggest internal spiral ramps hidden within the structure, allowing workers to move stones upward as construction advanced. Evidence from the Hatnub quarry reveals ramps with staircases and post holes, likely used for rope pulley systems. These innovations gave workers a crucial mechanical advantage, making it possible to move heavy stones with less effort and greater control. The Egyptians likely used a combination of ramp types as construction progressed, adapting their methods to the changing height and shape of the pyramid. This flexibility was essential for overcoming the unique challenges at each stage. Ramps had to be strong, adaptable, and continuously extended as the pyramid rose higher. Workers reinforced them with stone and mud brick, ensuring they could bear the immense weight of the stones and the constant traffic of laborers. Teams of workers hauled sledges loaded with stone blocks up the ramps, coordinating their efforts with ropes and levers for the final, precise positioning. This process required not only strength, but also careful planning and communication. These temporary structures were dismantled after completion, leaving only the perfect pyramid behind. The ramps disappeared, but the evidence of their use remains in the landscape and in the ingenuity of the builders. The ramp systems themselves were feats of engineering, showcasing the Egyptians' ability to solve complex problems with creativity and resourcefulness. Every stone lifted was a victory of planning, teamwork, and determination. The sense of accomplishment must have been immense as each layer brought the pyramid closer to completion. The Egyptians' ingenious solutions to the problem of vertical transport remain one of their greatest legacies, inspiring engineers and architects even today. Their ingenuity turned stone into sky, creating monuments that have stood for millennia and continue to awe the world with their scale and ambition. The image of slave labor building the pyramids is a myth. Modern archaeology shows a different story. The workforce was made up of native Egyptians, conscripted for national service, especially during the Nile's flood season. Skilled architects, engineers and craftsmen formed the core, while rotating crews of laborers provided the muscle. These crews had names, fostering team spirit and competition. Workers were paid in rations, bread, beer, fish, and meat, often better than the average villager's diet. Archaeological finds reveal well-fed, healthy workers, not oppressed slaves. Living conditions were organized and humane, with barracks, bakeries, breweries, and even medical facilities. The Pyramid City was a planned settlement, supporting thousands with food, shelter, and care. Workers took pride in their sacred duty, building for their pharaoh and nation. The project was a national effort, not forced labor. The real story is one of organization, pride, and community. The builders were valued citizens, not slaves. The Giza pyramids required a vast, temporary metropolis, the lost city of the pyramid builders. This planned settlement housed thousands, with dormitories for laborers and upscale homes for officials. Centralized bakeries, breweries, and food processing facilities kept the workforce fed and strong. Scribes and managers ran the city's logistics, keeping meticulous records and ensuring smooth operations. Workshops produced and repaired tools, making the city self-sufficient. The Pyramid City was a microcosm of Egypt, organized, industrious, and essential to the project's success. The pyramids' true marvel is their precision, almost perfect squares aligned to the cardinal points with astonishing accuracy. Egyptians used simple tools and star observations to achieve this, connecting architecture to their cosmology. Inside, clever engineering like the relieving chambers above the king's chamber shows deep knowledge of stress and load. The builders understood structural mechanics, distributing weight to prevent collapse. The Great Pyramid's dimensions even hint at mathematical constants like pi, suggesting advanced geometry. They used cubits and practical methods for measuring slopes and angles. The pyramids are monuments to applied mathematics and astronomy. Every stone was placed with purpose and calculation. Their achievements in surveying and engineering remain unmatched for millennia. The pyramids are not just tombs, they are masterpieces of science and art. The pyramids are not the result of lost technology, but of human ingenuity and collective purpose. From the pharaoh's vision to the final capstone, every step showcased Egyptian skill and organization. The process combined planning, quarrying, transport, and engineering, each a triumph in itself. A well-fed, well-housed workforce took pride in their sacred task. The pyramids represent a unique moment of stability and ambition in human history. They are the ultimate expression of Old Kingdom power and belief. Today, they stand as timeless monuments to innovation, collaboration, and the enduring human spirit. The pyramid's true secret is the remarkable ability of people to achieve the impossible together.